Thanks for coming out once again. We are joined, as always, by Greg Engert, beer director for the Neighborhood Restaurant Group, recently named by Wine Enthusiast as one of 40 under 40 to watch. Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
The group including Evening Star Cafe and Planet Wine in the Delray neighborhood, also Columbia Firehouse in Old Town. Greg, always great to see you.
You too.
What is on tap this week?
So this week, one of my favorite saisons from Belgium that has been lesser known, but we're seeing more and more of it in the United States. This is a beer that I actually discovered over in Brussels, drinking at one of my favorite beer bars in the world called Motor Lambic. And they at Motor Lambic, they concentrate on the creme de la creme of fantastic Belgian beer. So you always have lots of Cantillon, lots of De La Seine beers, Duranca, Bink. But then I was psyched to see this. It's called IV or 4 Saison, and it's from Brasserie de Jandrain Jandrenouille, which is something that I had not heard of at the time, and not many people had. But an amazing semi-dry saison from a really cool producer. So I guess we could sip it first, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about how this beer has come to us.
I love a beer named IV.
Yeah.
Hand me the IV. Very mild nose. Oh, that's real nice.
Isn't that good?
That's, I mean, not quite as dry as the one we had
Grey Jacket.
a few weeks ago,
Yeah.
Grey Jacket, but real pleasant.
Hop character.
I mean, not overly fruity at all.
No, there's a little fruit there, but not too much. In the nose, you get that kind of earthy, grassy, rustic, slightly spicy note from the fermentation of the Saison yeast. It does have a little bit of sweetness up front and a hint of fruit, and then it finishes semi-dry, a little bit of a kind of grass and herbal hop note, but nothing too bitter, like you said. It's balanced and really, really delicious.
Is this, now was this a brewery that you first became aware of?
Yeah,
on
through that.
Your one of those visits to Belgium?
Yeah, well, it was
it
was kind of like something that I'd kind of heard about and saw it there, and then also knew at the time that it was being imported, but in very small amounts because the beer is brewed in super small amounts. So, really cool story to this. The brewer's name is Alex Dumont, and his full-time job in Belgium is as a salesman for Yakima Chief, which is a Pacific Northwest hop grower and negotiant. So he sells American hops in Belgium. That's his full-time job. And he lives in a town called Jandrain Jandrenouille, thus the name of the brewery, which is about it's in the south of Belgium, halfway between Brussels and Liège. And he lives in this really cool, 300-year-old, kind of chateau farm building. And he raises, chickens and goats, I think, there, and grows lots of produce. It's kind of like this gentleman farmer vibe to the whole thing. And he brews very small batches of exceptional saisons. I don't think he does more than maybe 300 or 400 barrels a year.
Wow.
Which is 5% of what DC Brau is doing today. So I mean, he's a full-time hop sales rep and very in tune to the beer industry in Belgium and beyond. And then kind of likes to have a hobby of brewing these fantastic beers. And he's not home brewing them. I mean, he's got a small brew house, but he just doesn't make a lot of the beer, but fantastic stuff.
So he's selling Washington State hops to brewers in Belgium.
Oh, yeah.
Is that tough, since there are a lot of very proud hop growers in Belgium, or do they?
Well, there's fewer Belgian hop growers than there ever used to be. Actually, because there's a market for all kinds of hops.
Sure.
Specifically today, when brewers are experimenting with all different sorts of things, and you're seeing more and more American-style hops finding their way into beers in Belgium. But Belgium years ago had a much kind of a storied hop tradition. The two major regions being Aalst in Ghent, or near Ghent in East Flanders, and then Poperinge in West Flanders towards the French border. Over time, kind of talked about how Belgian beer has become less and less hoppy, less and less dry. It's become more sweet and fruit forward. Hop growing in Belgium has kind of declined a bit. But even in the old days, they were still getting hops from Germany and France, the Czech Republic, Slovenia, things like that, Poland. So hop growth happens all over the place. I think just there's a burgeoning interest in Pacific Northwest American hops over there, which is a really cool thing that he's able to do. And yet, while he's brewing this beer, he's still I think he's utilizing some Pacific Northwest hops, but it's not coming through like an American style beer at all. It's still very Belgian with some slight innovations.
Must be tough to find then. If you see it, try it.
Yeah,
I mean,
and the thing is, it is kind of hard to find, but when it comes in pretty well. So it's you'll see it around for quite a bit. And the 3 that he's released is the 4, the 5, and the 6. And they're all kind of different takes on Belgian saison. So you will see it around, and if you do, grab it. And also, it ages pretty well. As a saison that's re-fermented in the bottle, it's going to withstand the test of time. So I would definitely keep your eyes out for it.
Food-wise, I mean, I could see eating this with a bowl of pretzels up to a peppercorn steak.
Yeah. Both of those would be awesome. I was thinking too, like,
I'm sure you weren't thinking bowl of pretzels, but
no, I was thinking salt. Yeah, I mean, salty would
be
great, and steak would be awesome. But that's the thing about a beer like this. You can do it with something simple. You can do it with popcorn. You can do it with like something simple, nuts. Something like bar snack. You could do it with bar food. Then you can do something with like a steak. It can go with all of those things. And and then you talk about meat and cheese. It's perfect for that. Like all sorts of charcuterie, anything that's kind of spiced and salty. Goat smoked cheeses, chèvre, Humboldt Fog is an awesome one. Funkier cheeses work just as well. And then also thinking a lot about like seafood stews. Like you get like that fennel, saffron that you find in like bouillabaisse and things like that. I think it would be delicious with that as well.
We mentioned it a moment ago that a few weeks ago the beer of the week was Grey Jacket, a collaboration between a Belgian brewer and Blue Jacket, one of the neighborhood restaurant group's newest, biggest project, I'm assuming,
for sure.
down at Nats Park. Now, here we are in the middle of June. What is the outlook on when the doors might be swinging open and me walking through them?
Soon is always a good one. No, we're definitely
foreign politician.
We're getting there, and it's going to be definitely before summer's out. So we're going to catch some of the baseball season this year, and we're really, really excited to see what's going to be great.
It's an amazing, amazing location. If you have a question for Greg about future property openings, Belgian beer collaborations, anything regarding beer, here's the email address. I don't want to put too much responsibility on his shoulders, but you can try anything. We may or may not ask him. Here's the email address, beeroftheweek@WTOP.com. Greg, thank you so much as always. Everyone, please always do drink responsibly, and be sure to bring your thirst next time for another Beer of the Week.